While the poles face similar challenges, we have different approaches to the two poles. Of course, climate change is the biggest stressor for both the Arctic and the Antarctic. In the Arctic, we're focused on both sustainable development and environmental protection. Sustainable development will be important for the region, and in particular, in light of the needs and concerns of Indigenous peoples in the Arctic region. So we are looking at that kind of sustainable development that will address health, economies, and well-being over time. In the Antarctic, our focus is science, peace, and environmental protection. So environmental protection, again, is going to be the most important part of the work that we do in the Antarctic, and it's not sustainable development. We want to, in fact, protect the Antarctic from any kind of development. So the Antarctic is a space for peace and cooperation, and what we see is that actions like the unprovoked aggression that Russia has introduced to Ukraine has disrupted the opportunities for peace and cooperation. So we want to insulate these regions from that kind of politics so that we can ensure that they, again, can have the priorities that we are most concerned about, which is ecosystem resilience and, frankly, thriving poles. I hope for a future in which the poles are thriving, in which we have ensured that kind of resilience that will allow for healthy ecosystems to persist for generations to come and, in fact, repair. We know that climate change is the single greatest threat. And what we want, again, is to ensure that we keep 1.5 degrees within reach. And that absolutely requires us to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. That's the single greatest determinant of our future. We have two threats to both poles right now, and that's climate change and increased human activities that, in fact, climate change is often introducing. It's also important for us to understand the importance of things like the Central Arctic Ocean Agreement. And that agreement is actually allowing us to take time to understand the sensitivity of the region and limit the ability to fish, in fact, prevent fishing until we understand the region, until we understand the healthy ecosystem in the ocean that is there in the Arctic. And so we would like to see more of those kinds of cooperative efforts that look at agreements that allow us to be thoughtful and to consider prevention first so that we understand the impacts of our action.